Come on, YouTube. Oh, there we are. It's always like 14, 15 seconds. Jeez. YouTube. Speed it up. Okay, let me just set my screen that's behind you but in front of me. Hey, Kelsers. Let me just set up my screen really quickly here. Hey, Kathy X50. I'm just going to set it for a half hour. Yeah, I've been busy on another video today. But I figured I would just give this a little bit of time. Just for my regulars. For my pips. Hey, Jewel. Okay, I got one more thing to set up here. Wish I could do this ahead of time. I can only do it ahead of time on a Premiere, so if you're watching on the replay, you might want to fast forward through the first couple of minutes. But I'm getting pretty fast at it. Kelsa's putting up the April Davis PI custom channel emojis. Yeah, those are specifically for my pips. You're the only pip in here so far, Kelsers. How you guys doing today? Oh, there's something on my screen right over my face. What is that? Yeah, I've actually got a lot to do. I got to watch the game that's already on. I forgot they were going to Chicago, so I was expecting a 7-10 game, not a 5-10 game. So it's already on, and I've already missed the beginning. Lynn Broad says, hey, I'm here. There's another pip. Hey, if you guys are following my Jackie story, when I'm done with this, which hopefully won't be too long, you can go over to my video tab and see the latest. So it's kind of a hard update to watch, but I'm not gonna like talk about it here. Hey, Victoria, Sent the Hiding. I've never seen that one before. Victoria, is that a new one? Sent the Hiding, Jewel. Sent the Star. Thank you, Victoria. Oh, you did see it. Okay, Kelsers. Did you see my video or did you see somebody else's? Because I'm sure a lot of people are reporting it. I had a lot of my regulars, you know, that have been following the Jackie series send me messages asking me to do it. Oh, thank you, Kelsers. And because I had just signed up for Vented yesterday, if you were here yesterday, I made the mistake of not turning off my SpeedX. So I was driving around LA today trying to find a SpeedX location and a place to park. You know, it was only about a mile or so away, but no parking. And I borrowed a space for 2 minutes from the sports card shop. There's armed security there, and I was like, listen, I'm desperate. I got a cane. I'm disabled. I just need to drop off this package. It'll take me 2 minutes. And they're like, you're fine. Because their place was full. I'm like, I'll be right back. And then come home and then set up the other package for my mailman. Since we don't have a post office in our community right now for like the last 4 years. It's really getting crazy. Not even the temporary one is there anymore. So I'm like, oh, now I don't want to miss the mailman while I'm driving around town looking for SpeedX. But I did take that off the app last night. And I was really surprised that like I only listed 3 things and I sold 2 things in, you know, a few hours. Like, wow. Wasn't a lot of money, but still. I'm barely hanging in there. Stomach virus. Ooh, no. Wow, kind of a weird time of the year for that. I'm sorry to hear that, Lynn. Spirit says no post office here either. Is that in Portlock? Now, I'm in a big city where, you know, there should be a post office every couple of miles, but I'm not anybody's baby here. Time out. No tolerance today. Yeah. You know, what day is it? I put it in my thumbnail. I think it's 184. Yeah, 184 on Nancy Guthrie. If you're new here, I'll introduce myself. I'm April Davis, PI, and I am a California licensed private investigator, mostly retired, doing the medical stuff, you know. Yeah. It's been a rough last 10 years, let me tell you. But I've been following this Nancy Guthrie case since the night that it happened. And I just read a few updates before I came on the air, one of which says the sheriff in the Nancy Guthrie case said he didn't have a note indicating she was dead. But he did. Yeah, and this is from CBS. This is not just some like random YouTuber. This is from CBS, a legit news agency. And their statement is, when investigators in the Arizona disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, released 2 ransom notes on Friday, one of the messages directly contradicted. There's that word again, contradicted. What Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos told CBS News in an interview just one day earlier. I have nothing to indicate she is DEAD. Nano said Thursday. I don't have a body. I don't have a burial site. I don't have any note. But he did have a note. On Friday, Nanos released the 2 notes to the public for the first time. The messages had originally been sent to the local CBS station in Tucson in February, shortly after the 84-year-old's abduction. Yeah, he had that note since February the 6th. And on August the 2nd, he publicly stated that he has no body, no burial site, and I don't have a note. The next day, all of a sudden, oh, here's the note from February the 6th. Oh my gosh. Nano said he released the ransom notes hoping someone would recognize the authors of potentially distinctive wording and help identify who sent them. Yeah, a lot of the experts seem to think that the first note was written possibly by a man, and that the second note that came from the same IP address may have been written by a woman. But those are just guesses, people. The first note, submitted a day after Guthrie was reported missing, opened with, "Hello, Savannah, we have your mother," demanded a $4 million ransom paid in Bitcoin, and promised to return her to a safe drop-off location in Tucson within 12 hours of the ransom's deposit. Yes, we've gone over that a couple of times in prior videos. The second note, sent just 4 days later, said, "We never intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. She perished." She perished? Shortly after she was taken. We believe it was heart-related. She is buried in nature now. Once again, what kidnapper writes a "we're sorry" note? The first note included details about Nancy Guthrie's white Apple Watch in the floodlights on her back porch, leading the FBI to take them seriously. Yeah, Savannah said that when she did her interview with Hoda Kotb, that she hadn't seen the notes, but that the FBI thought the first 2 were credible. Kelsers, can you time somebody out for me? Thank you. Both notes were sent via a tip line to CBS affiliate KOLD TV using email addresses that appeared to be made up and used references to the Guthrie family. That's the first time I've heard that. Let's see. I'll take care of it, Kelsers. Thank you. Okay. Goodbye. Thanks for coming. Lance Leasing, a retired FBI supervisory special agent, told CBS News that releasing the notes to drive more tips from the public was a great thing to do. However, so late in the case and after a period of time where they have had no communication with the public, it just seems that the media strategy here is a little haphazard. You think? I am sure, and maybe even to this day, they're not 100% sure if these notes are legitimate. I mean, they've already arrested and charged people for sending hoax and fake notes in. Yeah, that was the actual text rather than notes, just to be clear. Jason Pack, another retired FBI supervisory special agent, noted that the second message dropped the ransom demand. The money is simply gone, Pack told CBS News on Friday. No demand, no offer to sell a location, nothing. People being motivated by money do not walk away from $4 million when the plan falls apart. They try to salvage something. The writer asked for nothing at all. Pack believes one person wrote both notes. That's possible. Same channel, same habits, same distance from responsibility, he said. Whether the person took Nancy or just watched the coverage and decided to insert himself is the open question. When CBS News asked Nanos about the messages, he said, those hostage notes, are they valid? Do we believe they're valid? We think every one of them's valid until we show otherwise. But the day before, he didn't have any note. What's wrong with this guy? In an Instagram post Saturday marking 6 months since her mother's disappearance, Savannah Guthrie again urged someone to come forward, including anyone who might recognize the writing in the ransom notes. She said there is a way to end this situation and do the right thing. Yeah, go get that $1.2 million reward. Somebody knows something. Following a lengthy and at times unflattering account in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend of how local investigators handled the Guthrie investigation, Nanos took to social media to address the Guthrie family and concerned citizens. Well, isn't that nice? We're still here. We're not going away, Nanos said. If you could just see the team working, you would see the energy, the concern. They're fired up and will continue to work this case hard. I hope so. Nanos says he has no doubt the case will be solved. I hope he's telling the truth for once. As the search for Nancy Guthrie continues, the FBI is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to her location or the arrest of anyone involved in her disappearance. And the Guthrie family has offered a reward of $1 million. Yeah, altogether, it's over 1.2. Hey, Leanne. Douglasville, welcome in. I feel they are both from the same person. Bring Nancy home. I am so grateful you are keeping this going. Thank you. I haven't seen you before here, but welcome in. Where are you coming in from, Doug? Or is that a place? Douglasville. I don't know. Let me know. Is that a place or is that a name? Where are you coming in from, nevertheless? So, yeah, I'm going to keep it short. I was rushed to get my Jackie video out today. Go see it. Go give it a like, a thumbs up, a hype, whatever you want to do. The last Jackie video, or not the last, but the Jackie video from the 29th is still sitting in the top 100 all hyped list on YouTube. Yeah, it's still on the leaderboard. I can't even believe it. Hey, Maine. Wow. Maine is probably a very neat place. I've only been as far as New Hampshire and Vermont, but wow, Maine. There's some friends of mine on Instagram I've been following, and they just arrived in Maine today. Kelsa says, I feel like Savannah Guthrie could be doing more for her mom. Just going to throw that out there. Like I said, I've been totally supportive of her until this past weekend. And, right now it's kind of a love-hate relationship in my mind. Hello, Brian Monfrey. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Yeah, there's only so many days I can go on here and say, well, it's day this, it's day that. But it is. It's day 184. And I'll talk till I'm blue in the face to say who I think did this and why without naming names. Because, I can't get myself sued. Because my disability won't cover the price of a lawyer. That's for sure. But, I have my ideas. I'm hoping some of them are correct. I just want this to be solved. This isn't about me. This is about finding whatever is left of Miss Nancy and putting whoever did this behind bars, hopefully forever. Because, I think they're going to burn in heck for this. And they will be caught. Might not be today or tomorrow, but it's coming. So turn yourself in. Roll over on your buddies, because I still think there's a group here involved. I don't think this is a lone wolf. Could be wrong. Remember, I'm not investigating the case. I'm simply reporting on it. And we're relying on information from the police and FBI. And the FBI, they never said squat. And other than that one written statement about the validity or non-validity of the 2 ransom notes, or all the ransom notes. And then, this Sheriff Nanos, who every other time that he speaks, he contradicts himself. It's black, it's white, it's red, it's yellow. Who knows what it'll be tomorrow with him? Kelsa says the whole investigation was botched. Absolutely. I feel like it was on purpose. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. It has been. You don't release or unsecure a crime scene that quickly. End of story. Somebody does go down for this, they're going to get themselves a good lawyer, and they might be able to worm their way out of this, because that crime scene was botched. If somebody gets turned in just because of DNA evidence alone, I don't know, they might have a strong defense to say otherwise. I mean, I hope not. It would be better for everybody if they catch somebody and they're just like, okay, I surrender, I did it. Like Derek Kalala, like, okay, you got me, come inside, go ahead, put the cuffs on, I did it. Well, then I'm going to go to court on, Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day it was, and say, to the Santa Ana judge, no, I didn't do it. But then, have to go spend time in Tucson with an ankle bracelet with your parents at the hotel and say, well, okay, I changed my mind again, because now I did it. I did it. I didn't do it. I did it. I mean, it's just like Nanos, like, oh, everybody's a suspect. Oh, well, these people aren't suspects. And then this weekend, well, everybody's a suspect. But now I'm hearing that that's even been recanted, because everybody except the family. Like, well, which is it? It changes so often. I don't have a note. We have no indication that she's dead. Yesterday, he said that publicly. We don't have any notes. And this is after the notes had already been released by Brianna Whitney. Oh, we don't have any notes. And now yesterday, oh, yeah, here's a no. What are you thinking, man? Oh, I didn't know that, Gelsers. She says SG's husband was out of town at the time NG went missing. I wonder where he was. Maybe he was off on another tennis date with the boys. I'm just kidding. I don't know. The guy I'm just not feeling the feels for that guy. I'm not feeling the feels for the relationship. I don't think Savannah's got a lot of support in this, but hey, I could be wrong. Because I didn't know Savannah was going to, freak out over the weekend and turn on everybody. The only people that seem to be doing anything. I mean, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but come on, like, where is she? Let's go find Nancy Guthrie, everybody. Let's start looking for her. You think? Kelsa says, I don't trust her husband very much either. I don't know. I get the bad feels about it. And I hope I'm wrong, I like to think he's a great guy. Everything is just perfect. And they're still on their honeymoon, but I kind of doubt that. Nancy Grace got some good stuff on the Nolan Wells case. Well, good for Nancy. I'm always a supporter of the lovely Nancy Grace. How you doing, Hobble One? Yeah, I've been a little busy today, Hobble One. I was busy with the Jackie case. Well, I can't really call it a case, but the Jackie situation. Go see my video I put out this afternoon. If you haven't already done so, it's sad. And I really should have. I was thinking about reshooting it, but I knew I had to edit it and I had to get it published and get it up before it was too late. But then when I watched it back, and I'm like, I flubbed up at the end, and I mentioned about the hype video, and I should have put a card up at the top of the screen or linked it in my description, or, can I even say correctly, like, share, comment, subscribe, or like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, I had everything all bumbled because I was so, like, upset. And then the video, I just released it like at 2:15. So it's been out for under 4 hours, and it's already up to like 24.4 thousand views. Like, oh my God. Yeah, like, wow. And I'm not, like, I'm not trying to make money off of this. I think if I do well on this video, though, I'm going to throw some more money at the Ojai Raptor Center. And then one of my viewers gave me an idea. Somebody said that they actually donated some money to the facility in Bakersfield that let their eagle Spirit, not to be confused with Jackie Spirit, but the eagle that's in that facility was the donor of the eagle blood. So I was like, oh yeah, I was thinking about the place in San Dimas and FOBBV. And by the way, the pen I showed you guys yesterday, it writes on just a regular piece of paper, but when I try to use this in my checkbook, which is what I got it for, it doesn't write. So this serves me no purpose. So that means for almost $21, all I got out of it was a little teeny magnet that's about a little bit wee bigger than a silver dollar, and a pen that only writes on certain types of paper. Yeah, I thought checkbooks just had regular paper, but apparently, like, it doesn't work in a checkbook. That donation could have gone somewhere else, frankly. Very frustrated. Savannah's husband was on a golf trip she gave him for Christmas. Well, actually, Savannah's husband, yeah, that was the weekend. Okay, let me go back, Kelsers. Let me go back here. I see, I'm tired. Yes. Hello. I'm talking to myself. Hello. I'm very tired from YouTube this past month, let me tell you. Michael Feldman, was actually on a tennis trip with the boys. I was thinking of another trip. So yeah, when she disappeared, yeah, because she had bought him or gifted him a tennis trip for Christmas. And he went and took that trip the weekend that Savannah's mother went missing. And he didn't come home until later on Sunday, which is when she came home from Carson Daly's, because her and the children had stayed over at the Daly house that weekend. So she didn't get back until, I'm guessing, Sunday afternoon. And, with the time difference and between Arizona and New York, that's what brought up the whole timeline issues as to when did Annie Guthrie, Savannah's sister, who was supposedly the caregiver of Nancy Guthrie, why did she take so long to call Savannah? Because by the time they talked to Savannah and Savannah said, did you check the hospitals? Annie was like, oh, we already did all that. So it sounds like that Savannah was contacted long after Annie had been told by the lady at the church that she didn't show up at the house this morning, and long after they went over there and checked the place out and then called 911 and then waited for the police, met with the police, looked around the property, called all hospitals, trying to figure out what was going on. And then later in the day, that's when Savannah got called. And because she said that in the interview with Hoda. So I'm sorry, Kelsers. When you put that up earlier, I was just like, oh, I don't know. Like maybe he was on another tennis trip with his friends. Yeah, because he was. That was the same time. That January 31st, February 1st seems like 10 years ago to me now. So, yeah, I might have to just delete this whole video on that one. I'm sorry. It's been a long, long case. And I'm YouTube exhausted right now, but I very much enjoy this. I woke up to like my phone blowing up like, hey, have you heard the latest? They just announced something like, how soon can you make a video? And I'm just like, well, let me go get my packages delivered first, and then I'll come back and do that. And it's just, there's so much. And I was supposed to call for my x-rays today. That didn't happen. So tomorrow I gotta take some time away from YouTube and at least call that place to say, hey, how soon can I get this set of x-rays that I don't even want so I can have them before the 17th, appointment with the kidney doctor. Like, there's just so much that it's just overwhelming for me. I hate that during the hottest time of the year and before my favorite time of the year, which is the fall, that I gotta handle all this stuff. And just try to stay out of the hospital in the meantime. Hobble one, you'll have to pardon me. I can get a little dingy in my old age. Yeah, I guess that could be it. Hello, Sue Brock Schmidt. Hobble one, I missed that. I get very depressed when birds and wild animals are killed and driven out of habitats. Yes, my favorite backpacking regions are now scorched earth. Interesting term, scorched earth. Yeah, so thank you for correcting me, Jewel. But it wasn't golf, it was tennis. So she claimed. That's what she said. That she got it for him. She had gifted it to him for Christmas, and he used it that weekend where all this happened. So I guess, the dude's got an alibi. But I don't even suspect him. I'm more concerned with other people. And I really want to make an updated suspect video. And there's so much I want to talk to you about regarding that initial list that went out to the gun stores. But I just can't right now. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot on this. Because I don't know everything that's going on in this case. So I got to be really careful, like what I put out there. But you guys, you can talk all day long in the chat or tell me what you think. I mean, it is what it is. The truth is going to come out sooner or later. I hope it's sooner. Is Arizona really clan-like, as in tribalist? I have no idea, Hubble One. I mean, I know there's a huge Native American population there and many Indian reservations. Hello, Lene. Lene Boykin Harwood. Welcome in. Are you new here, my friend? Where are you coming in from, Lene? Did you come from the Jackie videos? A lot of new people are coming in saying they saw me on the Jackie videos. And yet today's editing, I thought it just sucked, but it's still getting like a ton of views. Like, even if it just stopped right now, it would still be, in my mind, a successful video. Because I used to get 50 views or 100. Concord, California. Well, you are a California girl like myself. I'm in Los Angeles, California. And it's still hot today, but it's a few notches down where it was over the weekend. But the needle's just going to kind of stay at the same place for the next 10 days. Like, ugh. It's just the time of year that I dread. That's why I'm not happy about having to go out and do all these medical things during this heat. And then that'll just have bad air quality and we'll have fires and it's just, yeah. Kelsa said, I would love an updated suspect video. I'm sticking to my original feeling, 3 to 5 people. I've always felt 3 to 5 people. And I have my reasons for saying that. And Kelsa says she thinks that A&T are involved. You know what? I don't know. And if they are, let's just say hypothetically that they are involved, then is Savannah living in a dream world? And she's in complete denial? Where to the point that she gets angry when people even bring it up? Or subconsciously, does she know more than she's saying? Even consciously, does she know more than we know regarding who might be involved in this? Because I think she's already started to wig out based on the statement that she made Saturday. Part of that statement, that is not somebody that's got all of her ducks in a row anymore. She's starting to crack. And I'm hoping that whoever's involved or whoever knows who's involved and they really want to go to the cops, but maybe they're scared, maybe those eggs are starting to crack a little too. In the eagle world, they call that pipping. When that little egg starts to kind of move around a little bit, and you hear the chirps inside, and you start to see, is that a crack, or is that just a piece of hay or grass or pine needle? Like, what is that a crack? And then you see the actual little pipping, the little holes, and oh, here it comes. Like, is it going to happen? I think the eggs are starting to crack, and something could break. Like literally. Reboot America says, hello, the kidnapping story never made any sense to me. Me neither. And I'm a PI who's dealt with things like this. I've always felt the kidnapping was an effort to cover up a homicide. Maybe, maybe not. I thought that at first, but then when I heard about the blood evidence on the porch, that it was oxygenated blood that was aspirated from a living person. Because at first I thought, well, maybe they just went in there and they offed her. And then they tried to get rid of the body, but then it would have been easier just to leave a body there. But then I was like, well, wait a minute. Maybe this really is a kidnapping. Because that's the first thing I said when I was laying in bed Sunday night. And they just implied that, they said that Savannah Guthrie's mother, 84 years old, in Tucson, Arizona, was missing. And they kind of implied that, it could just be a missing senior. But I just jumped straight up in bed like, oh my God, the 84-year-old mom of Savannah Guthrie is missing. She's been kidnapped. And that's the same reaction that Cameron Guthrie had when he was speaking to Savannah on the phone. And she said, do you think it's because of me? And he was like, yeah, sweetie, I think so. I think she's been kidnapped. And then she felt so, guilt-ridden. And she shouldn't. But I still think that's a huge factor, no matter what it is, because Savannah has a lot of money. I still, though, think that the possibility that somebody close to her is involved is a definite, because someone had to know that property inside and out, and they obviously did. I'm still going with the multiple people and the chef and the waiter theory, but I'm not working the case, so I can only base my opinion on everything that's in the media. And most of the information that's actually come out has come out from the sheriff, who's the most contradictory person on the planet, who looks like, whether it was an accident or it was intentional, ruined a crime scene in the first 20 plus hours. Kelsa says, yeah, I think Savannah Guthrie is living in a dream world, and it's literally making her crazy. It sure sounded like it after this past weekend. And was she still in London when she wrote that? And I think it was in conjunction with the FBI. I don't think those were just her words 100%. Or has she already come back? Because they said she was going to be over there for a couple of weeks. And they were going to film the whole season. And that was in Manchester. Where is she now? April, I just remembered that burning question I forgot to ask. What would that be? I meant like New Orleans corruption, like Arizona. You know what, Hobble? I don't know anything about New Orleans. Sorry. Reboot says, I agree. It has to be someone close to her. Maybe she was accidentally killed. The whole case is just strange. No, I think she died from her heart, because she was probably scared to death and she didn't have her meds. They have evidence from her pacemaker that her heart was racing when she was taken. And if you are to believe the ransom note, the first one, Dear Savannah, it didn't say Dear Guthrie family, it said Dear Savannah, we have your mother, and that she is aware. Hobble One, let's just keep it to what we're discussing today, if you don't mind. But I appreciate you being here. None of this is a normal case. There's nothing normal about this case. But I still think it's financially motivated. And I still think that someone, whether it's family or someone else close to her, is deeply involved in this, even if it's just behind the scenes. Kelsa, the sorry note just throws me off. Me too. And I think that's what it was intended to do. And I'm not convinced the person that wrote the second note is the person that wrote the first note, but it came from these weird emails that where their email address were references to the Guthrie family, like they were made up emails, but those emails came from the same IP address. All but one, I'm lost on Savannah totally. Yeah. It is what it is. Ah, I know I keep saying that. I'm so like frustrated, you know. Diversionary tactic would be my guess, says Jackie West. Welcome in, Jackie. One of my pips. Do you think the notes sent to the media were from the kidnappers? I'm not sure. Because that first note came out really even before we knew about it, the public, like the following day. And it mentioned the Apple Watch and the exact location, apparently, where it was found in the house and the broken strobe. And none of that had been in the media yet. And the FBI did tell Savannah that, they thought the first two notes were legit. But everybody kept that a secret with the contents of the second note, including the sheriff, who just said on, a live interview yesterday that they had no body, no burial place, and no note. And then today he was like, well, I think it would be helpful to release these notes now. They should have released those notes 6 months ago, because maybe someone would have recognized the writer or some of the wording. Hubble once said notes were either sideliners or ruses. Yeah, they could have been red herrings. I said that all along. This is messed up, but somebody needed some coin. And we don't know how Nancy's bank accounts and her finances are set up. Like, I would assume that Savannah could be paying her bills while all this is going on, because there's still a house sitting there. She's still got bills, even though I don't think she's with us any longer. That house is still in limbo and all the bills attached to it. But what did her caretakers, and you know who I'm talking about, what do they have access to? Who's paying their bills while they have just vanished off the face of the earth? And they have like the most recognizable faces in America. Where are they? Even if they're out of the country and they were walking around, I think somebody might recognize them and go, hey, look who that is. Jason says, like I said the other day, the FBI has been impotent since J. Edgar Hoover died. Yeah, like I said, as a PI, I've worked for agencies, PI firms, where we've handled cases that LAPD couldn't handle and the FBI couldn't handle. And then you call in the pros, you call on the PIs. Nano said, ruled out, not ruled out on family. Tell him to put down the pipe. I gotta wonder, like, what's going on? I mean, does the dude have dementia and he doesn't remember what he said the day before? I mean, I might be, earlier today when Kelsa asked me about somebody asked me, where did I think he was, Mike Feldman, Savannah's husband. And I joked about, oh, maybe he was on another tennis trip with the boys. I had totally forgot, like, oh yeah, that's when he took that trip, the weekend that she disappeared. And then another viewer said, oh, well, remember he went on a golf trip that he got for Christmas from Savannah. She said it was tennis. But, he was accounted for. Maybe it was Savannah via the caretakers that did this. I don't think Savannah is involved in this at all. And like I said, she's possibly living in a complete total dream world. I think it's going to be shocking, no matter who it is, whether it's her family or it's someone else, when it all comes down, you know. Because I don't think it's A&T who was front porch guy. It just isn't. It's not them. I didn't say they're not involved in the crime, and I didn't say that they were, but it's definitely those two are not front porch guy. There's other people involved, whether they're the chefs and the front porch guy is just a waiter, or somebody completely unrelated to the family. I still have the idea of the chefs and the waiters. Although there are certain people in the FBI who think that it all could be one person. Like, and once again, kidnappers don't spend 41 minutes in the house. Like, none of this is right. And if they're doing it for money, why not just grab a few things while you're there and put them in your pocket? They didn't take anything except for Nancy. I think front porch guy is someone T knows. Maybe. In Hostel 2, it was the landscaper. We've talked about that. The landscaper, the pool guy, a neighbor, a church friend. But then we hear all these rumors about gambling and debts. And, you know, I've seen that they did buy a house, A&T, less than a year before this happened. And it seemed awfully expensive for somebody who was a school teacher who might have been unemployed the whole year. But, you know, maybe he's the son of a millionaire or a billionaire from Italy. Who knows? But, you know, you look at the company that he keeps and some of his friends and who those people seem to hang with. Like I said, everybody in Tucson is related through the second or the 6 degrees of separation. It's just, I just don't know how much longer we can all come on here every day and just rehash the same stuff. Like, something has got to give. And in the meantime, I need to have time to be able to go out and make some actual videos. I love these lives because I like getting personal with you guys and knowing where you're all from, where you're coming in from. You know, you guys have become, you know, my YouTube family. You guys are my pips. And as someone said the other day, my peps. The cheerleaders on the side are the peps. The peps and the members are the pips. So it's fun, you know. It's I enjoy this, but it was just like, I'm laying awake in bed last night thinking about this. And then before I had enough sleep, the cat was doing her usual morning scream. And until she just went and took a nap, she has been screaming all day. Like, all day. Like, and she's fine. There's nothing wrong with her. That's just Kelsa. It's just like, oh my God, please stop screaming. Please. I'm getting a headache today from all of this, you know? And then I'm so upset about the new information that came out about Jackie, which we won't talk about here, but you can go see it in my video tab. But I have been thinking about, as far as Nancy, I've been thinking about an updated suspect video, but it would just take so much editing, and I don't know if I have it in me right now. Well, you take a break and do a movie review. You know, I really want to see Odyssey, even though that's not my type of film, but I heard it's 3 hours. But my friend's grandson, who I know, he's actually been to my place before. He even picked me up from the hospital. He's becoming like a big star overnight because he's in Odyssey. So I'd like to see it just to see him. Now he's already like a Louis Vuitton model or something. Like, it's so neat when you know people like before they were famous. And his sister's famous, blowing up too. It's just like, it's amazing how your whole life can just change in a moment. Oh, I want Nancy to be found. I mean, I know the thought of her still being alive is totally unrealistic, and I just think she's probably better off to be at peace and be on the other side, you know, with her husband in heaven, with her dog. looking down on everybody, telling them, stop looking for me, just move on with your lives and keep going, one foot in front of the other. But I want her to have a proper send off and a proper, whatever the family wants to do, whether it be a funeral or a celebration of life. But more importantly, I want the people that did this to pay for this, because other people need to know that if you commit a crime like this, that you will get caught and it will ruin your life and it will ruin your family's life. And, you know, those people need to pay. You do the crime, you got to do the time. And it's just, it's tit for tat. That's one thing. Me being a detective and, as a PI, even though it's not the same as being a police officer, we don't have the safety that some of the police officers have. At least they have a weapon, they have backup, they have a whole department behind them. They've got a bulletproof vest on 100% of the time. Us PIs, we're just out there hanging in the wind, and there's a lot of PIs that get injured and get killed, and I've risked a lot in my career just for the sake of justice, and that's one thing I cannot be soft on. Even if it's a family member, you know what? I can't be soft on you if you resort to crime. Like, my whole reason for being here on this planet was to fight crime in one way or the other. And to me, that's the most important thing, is to find out who did this. And I hope that we can also find Nancy too. And it's not going to be one of these things where the family's never going to know, because that would be terrible. I mean, where is she? Is she laying at the bottom of a lake? Is she in the middle of the desert? Is she in somebody's backyard? Like, where is she? Let's find her. Oh, Hobbleman says, I listened to Sly and the Family Stone today. It got me out of a week-long slump. Speaking of Sly and the Family Stone, I'll just make it real quick. They did a theme song for a movie that was with Whoopi Goldberg that actually took place in San Francisco in the Bay Area. And it was called Burglar. And the song is called Burglar, and it's Sly and the Family Stone. And it's probably the only Sly and the Family Stone song that's not got any lyrics that's posted somewhere on YouTube. Go do a deep dive on Sly and the Family Stone Burglar. Tell me what the first few lines are, because I just can't get it. Hold on just a second. I got to check the thermostat. Thank you. I think the power company keeps putting it into eco mode, and then it gets so hot so fast, and then it can't recover. So yeah, that's a side note, Hobble One. Go to Sly and the Family Stone, the song Burglar, because I got it all but one line, and that was a funny movie too. Careless Whispers, good to see you. I heard about your medical situation this morning or this afternoon. I hope things are better now. I don't want to say too much here because it's your private, information, but I hope you are in a better place than you were earlier today, Careless. Hey, Nanette. You'll just have to see it on the replay, Nanette. I'm almost done. I don't know that movie, The Mac. Hey, Bruce Davis, my friend. Kathy Doherty, another Pip is in the house. Bruce, weren't you a Pip yesterday? You must have been one of the free members, because I don't see that little star next to your name anymore. Uh-oh. Another person didn't renew the membership. That's okay. It's free. I'm glad you enjoyed it for 30 days or whatever it was. Oh, you had a free one. Okay. Yeah, most of the people that get the free ones, they just don't renew. So I may have to reconsider some of those. Careless whispers. Yeah, woke up, couldn't see out of my eye, thought I had a stroke. Oh my gosh. Rushed to ER, they took blood, CT, then messed up the bloods and almost tried to admit me and give me a transfusion, but then realized they did bad draws, came home, and Violet smashed my teeth with her head. Hooray. So they let you out? Do they know what caused symptoms that you thought could be a stroke? I'm assuming it wasn't a stroke. Uh, yeah, I'm praying for you too, Careless. What was it? If you don't, I mean, if you don't want to say, that's okay. But I saw that on Facebook about the eye issue. It was your meds and a bad blood draw. The blood draw caused the eye issue, or the blood draw happened at the hospital? Let me see. Is your eye okay now? Let me ask you that. New meds. It's always something. I've got so much of this crap I have to deal with this month and next month. So many tests. I'm so tired of driving around and going to doctor's office. And they say that like COVID is like everywhere now. So I gotta, I've been wearing a mask since August 2019. And you know what I think is really bothering me today? What's bugging me? And I kind of brought it up a little bit in my Jackie video. I realized at some point today, it just like hit me like a ton of bricks, that it was this very week, 7 years ago, that I was having my chemo started, and the day before I had to go have the emergency like port put in, and it hadn't even healed. I had literally walked out of surgery, and less than 24 hours later, my friend, my bestie, came over and helped me get dressed because I couldn't lift my arms and got me to chemo. And I'm trying to remember if it was the surgery day or the chemo day, but the freeway got closed, and there was a like a detour, and then she got lost and she didn't know where she was. And she is the only person I've ever met in my life that was born without a map. And I was either trying to rush to get to surgery or trying to get to chemo, and she was just like driving around in the city of Glendale, which is nowhere near where I live. It's about 20 minutes away. And I was trying to somehow help her to get back on a different freeway to get her over here so we could get to wherever it is I was going. And it was just pressure, pressure, like, oh my God, and, and that first day, it was such a long day. I thought you'd go in there for like an hour or two, but no, it's an all day thing. And then, you can't drive and you limp home, and, if you're lucky, your friend will stop at the grocery store and, help you buy a few things and get you to the car and get you laid down. And then, it all like kind of hit me today. Like, I'm thankful that I was cured. Well, I can't really say cured, but, no evidence of the disease as far as we know. But there are these other issues that I will have to deal with for the rest of my life. And I just, that and the Jackie thing just kind of made me down. And then I saw Careless's news, and I was like, what is it about today? Because I saw that Careless, and I was like, oh my God, did you have a stroke? When you mentioned the vision. Oh, but I like your attitude that it's just been a rough day is all. Tomorrow's a new day. Yeah, Carolus, she's a great person. She's someone I met through the gold community. Kathy says MRI next week for back problems. You know what? I don't think I'm ever going to do another MRI for as long as I live, because the last one where I had to have my head like in a cage was just too traumatic. Like, there's just certain things I won't do anymore. If I have to go, I have to go, because, if I'm not unconscious, I'm not doing it. Today was rough for Sue too. Oh, she said, today was rough for me too. Nothing major, at least. Well, I hope we all have a better day tomorrow. Oh, you know what? This is an old one, Joe Wells, because my favorite one, I can't find it anymore. And the replacement ones that are too light on camera, it fell out of my pocket because I had a boatload of laundry, and I'm wearing these little like cargo shorts from Amazon or something, but they don't have the deep pockets because they're like ladies' cargo shorts. They're not like men's cargo shorts. And so my lipsticks constantly fall out of my pocket. So I grabbed an old one, like just out of a bag. Like, I never have enough lipstick. But thank you for the compliment. Carolyn says we are all going to have a better day tomorrow. Nanette says she will never do another colonoscopy. You know, Nanette, that's on the to-do list for me, and it's a big risk because of the anesthesia and the heart. And Dean says MRI is horrible. Yeah, I've had so many I can't even remember. I have a friend that has MS, and she has to have the one on the brain every 6 months, and I know what it's like to have the head cage. Oh, yeah, I had to have that for when they were checking my neurological problems, because after my cancer, they were like, your hands don't work anymore. One of my hands was going numb because I've already got a numb left arm and part of my chest and my back from my surgery. It never recovered. They cut through too many nerves. But like, yeah, they were like, your hands don't work and your legs don't work and your feet don't work and you keep falling. And so I ended up, they wanted to look at something in the shoulder and the neck, but they put me in the head cage. And it wasn't at the local place. I had to go down near the airport on a weekend and go through this creepy building that was closed. And I'm like, I think I used to go to the doctors in this building when I was 3 and we moved from San Francisco to LA for a temporary stay. This was the same friggin' building that I had a pediatrician in when I was 3 friggin' years old. And they brought me down there on a Sunday. The building parking was closed. Like, the planes were just roaring over one after the next, after the next, after the next. And then they're like, yo, you're going in. I got in, and as soon as they showed me the head cage, I started to cry. Because I'm like, oh my God. But my Bessie was there, and she was the one that pushed me to do it, and I somehow did it. But towards the end, when there was only 3 minutes to go, I started to have a breakdown in the machine. And then they had to stop, and then they wouldn't pull me out all the way because they knew if they pulled me out, they'd never be able to slide me back in. And my Thai friend, she gave me the pep talk and said, we're not leaving until you get this done, and you're just doing it. And I was like, okay, just hurry up. And then the lady was like, well, now we're going to have to tack more time onto it because you only had 3 minutes to go. And then she said she was going to get me, like, if I hit that emergency button, but she didn't come to get me right away. And then my heart was just going, pop, 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 pop. And that was before I got diagnosed with the AFib and the heart arrhythmia. So I literally almost had a heart attack and died in that last MRI. I never want to do it again. If they can't CT or X-ray it, F it. I'm not doing it. It is so awful, Nanette. So this JLR and Nancy stuff, how do we all feel about that little crap starter? Well, you must have missed my speech earlier because you probably just got here careless because I know you were like busy at the hospital. But I am a PI. I was born to fight for justice, and I don't put up with any criminal behavior. Now, I do like to think that people can rehabilitate, but I don't care if you're my own flesh and blood. If you're out there committing crimes, you have no credibility with me forever. So, I don't know the guy. He's a really good YouTuber. I mean, I suck at YouTube, but I don't know if I'd sit down to dinner with him. I mean, maybe I would to talk about YouTube. Like, hey, what should I do? Like, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm not worried about him. What? Oh my God. That's not a timeout. That's a ban. Baxi has done so much bad stuff. Yeah, me being a PI, not only do I deal with criminals, I deal with professional claimants and professional plaintiffs. And even if the criminal record was perfectly clean and it wasn't there, just the professional plaintiff claimant stuff kind of like doesn't set well with me. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, the CAT scan is terrible. But you know what? I've had so many. I've had too many. And that's why I'm really pissed at the kidney doctors. Like, well, you need to have 4 or 5 more x-rays. And I'm like, we already had that surgery. And then they tell me, and the x-rays told me I was fine. And then I end up in the hospital. They're like, oh, wow, you're really sick. And, oh, by the way, lady, you know, you have a kidney stone? And I'm like, I just had surgery like a month ago. They took it out. Like, well, no, we just saw it. So why are you sending me for another x-ray? When all the other doctors are saying, April, you're having too much radiation. Why didn't you just send me for an ultrasound? Doctors. You know, I feel like I need to go to medical school to be able to tell these guys, you know, what to do and what not to do. Oh. Thank you, Nanette, for saying prayers for Careless. And Careless, say hello to Aaron for me. Yeah, you know, that stuff, it really works. I wouldn't be here today, Careless, if it weren't for the prayers. X-rays are minimal radiation, CT scans are not. I know. And I had to have one unnecessarily years ago, Sue, because the doctor wrote a wrong order. And then after I had it, and it wasn't my choice. And by the way, the same day it happened, I was in a horrific car accident where I could have died. Somebody from the Howard Stern show ran me over. And the ambulance, the fire department was literally carrying me out of the car, trying to put me into the stretcher for the ambulance. And I refused to go because I had to go have what was supposed to be an MRI. And then when I got there, they were like, no, it's a CAT scan. And it was across the street from where the accident was. So I somehow made it to the door. I was in shock. They wrapped me in a blanket, made me wait 4 hours. And then they did my CAT scan. And while I was in the machine, the guy said, oh, by the way, are you allergic to lobster? And I'm like, I've never ate a lobster in my life. And he's like, oh, well, you might be allergic to the dye. And then we'll have to call 911. Like, yeah, the ambulance was just outside waiting for me, but I'm sure they left by now. That was my first CAT scan experience. And then after I had it, I found out that I didn't need it and that I was like 1,000 times more likely than someone who hasn't had a CAT scan to get cancer within 10 years. And cancer was in my future. Now, was it connected? I don't know. But since that, I've had so many, I can't even remember. Now it's like a walk in the park. Just lay down. Just done. When she gave me the contrast this time, the CT, my whole body was on fire. She was like, well, your face isn't red anymore. I'm like, what in the world is that supposed to mean? Oh, gosh. Yeah, I hate that feeling with the contrast dye. The new CT machines are really quick. Just had one. You're allergic to the dye. Oh, my God. Yeah, the last time the oncologist wanted me to have one, I was like, do you mind if I do one without the dye? And she was like, okay. And then the ones I've had in the hospital, they never do the dye because it's an emergency. They need it. They got people lined up in the hallway. Just quick, 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 boom, boom, boom. You know, like, oh. Even if it's something they're going to send me home for in a couple of hours, they still like, oh, CAT scan, CAT scan. Because they know that I am a cancer survivor and they think, oh, brain tumor, oh, stomach cancer, oh, kidney cancer. We got to do a CAT scan right now. But yet nobody's worried about the fact that the last 4 years that I've had all these tests, like since the cancer, that I have all these bad results with the blood, you know? Ugh. Now I know why they say, when older people say, when someone passes, they go, oh, at least they're out of pain. Now they can rest in peace. Oh, life is hard sometimes. But you hang in there, Careless, and I will too. We can support each other. Sue says, the last CT I had, she told me you'll feel like you wet your pants with the dye. Yeah, it does feel that way. It just makes you all fuzzy inside. Oh, I didn't know until today when I read what you posted earlier, but you did just mention it here on a YouTube channel. I didn't know about the brain aneurysm. You'll have to tell me more about that. Uh, she says, I'm hoping I'm not, you mean allergic to the dye? Because I have to get one for my MRI. They need the dye to check the vessels and arteries where my brain aneurysm is. Oh, careless. That's a lot. That's one of the things that's not on my checklist. Ugh. Hugs, careless. I'm so glad you're out of the hospital, though. And it was just a bad reaction to medication. And I hope that your vision is okay now. Exactly, Kelsers. I'm going to pre-medicate all right. Got me a sedative. He said 0 driving. Aaron has to take me. Same for dental. Thank God for Aaron. I was just thinking about that. And then you said that. Like, what a trooper. The MRI dye is completely different than the CT dye. Yeah, I didn't know that. You can see great. Okay, good. Woo! Oh, I'm so glad you didn't have a stroke. Yeah, when I had my vertigo, that's why they did 2 CAT scans. Not 1, but 2 of my brain to see if I had a stroke. But I had no stroke symptoms, except, the room was, going sideways. And they haven't been able to figure that one out. And if it was like, if I had it like right this very second, I wouldn't even be able to do this video. I wouldn't even be able to sit in this chair because I'd be like hitting the floor. It gets that bad. I remember when it first happened years ago, before I had my cancer, it happened once. I was telling my mom about it over the phone, and she said, well, when it happens, if you're driving, just pull over, put on the brake. And I'm like, Mom, you don't understand. It's like when it just like hits you like that, it's like having a seizure. Like you can't, there's no control of anything. Like, and I had a guy that used to work for me who was he's a war veteran, and he gets it now because he has a traumatic brain injury. And he was like, it happened on the freeway for him, and he almost hit a truck. Like, there's just like, it's horrible when it happens. Last time I had a really bad attack, I like smashed into my shelf. It was either that or the wall. Almost broke my arm. Like, I think the bone meds probably saved me from a fracture. I hate that worse than anything out of all the illnesses that I've suffered from. To say that that's worse than the cancer and the heart situation that will probably take me out someday, like, to me, that is worse. You are very smart, April. They need to do MRI. I'm not having any more MRIs. Hell no. No way. But I don't know why, because the physician assistant or the nurse practitioner, whatever he is, the one, you have to see that guy before you actually see the doctor. He always does the ultrasound, but this guy was like, no, x-rays. Well, last ones didn't show anything. And then he said if it doesn't show anything, he's going to order it again. Like, why? Like, I mean, we need to monitor this, but why not just monitor it with the ultrasounds? That's 5 minutes from my house, and it's free for me to park for the most part. No, but I got to get on a freeway, and I got to drive to another city and spend parking money and sit in a lobby full of sick people for 2 hours waiting for some x-ray. And they go, oh, yeah, it's fine. You don't have any kidney stones. And then, 2 weeks later, I end up in a hospital, and they're like, wow, you have a kidney stone, lady, in your left kidney. Like, no, I just had it. It was removed a month ago. You must be mistaken. And they're like, are you April Davis? Date of birth, blah, 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 blah. You have a kidney stone. So are you telling me that I went through the surgery for nothing? And now nobody can decide how big it is. You know, at some point, I'm just going to be done. Oh, thank you. I just saw that. Thank you for taking that out. I tell myself the same thing, though. Pull over if I need to. I feel a seizure, too. Oh, I can tell when mine are coming. Is there anything they can do for that, Carolus, as far as the brain aneurysm, like a surgery or something? Sorry to bring up medical stuff and get off track. No, if somebody wants to see the Nancy stuff, they can just go to the beginning. I'm always here for you, Carolus. If somebody doesn't want to listen, they can just leave the chat. We're all here for you. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about that. You can always, you have all my ways to contact me. So I second that. Hell no. I have vertigo plus orthostatic hypotension, so I can't drive any longer. Ugh. How have we all survived all of this? We must be all strong people here. It's stable, but they keep it monitored. The epilepsy comes par for the course when you have something like this. Oh, okay. Wow. I'm just going to go check my analytics. Oh my God. What? I released a video around 2:15 p.m. Pacific time. That's 4.5 hours ago. And the live update says that it's already past 29,000 views. Oh my God. And it says I gained 185 subscribers just on that video in 4.5 hours. Oh my God. Wow. The power of YouTube. Like, oh my gosh. Thank you for all those people who hyped that, excuse me, that July 29th video regarding Jackie. If you haven't seen the latest, I do have a video. I didn't like the way I ended it. I felt like I should have re-recorded that because I just kind of fumbled my words at the end. But then I was just like, oh no, I need to get it up. And I'm now like, oh, can I redo it? But no, it's too late. It's already up. Sometimes the ones you work the hardest on, though, you get no views. And then the ones that you just think, well, this was a crap video, and it blows up. Like, oh, thank you for coming in and helping me out, Kelsers. Appreciate you always. That's why I retired my horses. Nanette couldn't take a chance of falling from him. He's with my farrier at her ranch. Okay. By the way, I saw a hype button next to the like. Yeah, I'm gonna go because we're already in the 6th inning of my game, and this is like the biggest day in baseball with all the trades that have happened. And I'm paying for it every month, and I really do think, I know this is a different topic, but I don't think there's going to be baseball next year based on the very large chance of a season-long lockout. So I think I need to get my $29.99 worth and at least see a couple innings. But thank you for coming in today. I appreciate every single one of you. If you haven't seen the Jackie video, you want to go see the latest on her, just go check it out. It's only about 10 minutes. Okay. Thank you. I love you all.